Soaring to high peaks, exploring our unique history, and venturing into the unfamiliar. That is what sunny summer days are all about. And on this episode of Go Sea to Sky, we've got you covered for your summer fun. What to do, where to go, and who to see. It's all on this episode of Go Sea to Sky, so come explore with us. Welcome to Go Sea to Sky, only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Heather Butts, soaking up the sun on Blackcomb Mountain. Yes, it is hard to believe that August is just around the corner, but relax, there's still plenty of time for summer fun. And that's what this episode of Go Sea to Sky is all about. We're going to take you to some of the fun and unique places in the Sea to Sky corridor. We're kicking off the show on the soaring peaks of Squamish. Now, there are plenty of hiking and biking trails to take you there, but why not sit back and relax until you get to the top of the mountain? The only lift of its kind in North America, the Sea to Sky Gondola takes you to the inaccessible. Now, it has been open for a few weeks, but I got to take a sneak peek before guests arrived. Have a look. From the sea to the sky, it's exploring like never before. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Heather.
Thanks for having me here.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Okay, you can see it from the highway. It's the talk of the corridor right now, but I want to know what it looks like up there.
Well, we can't wait to get you up there, so let's go.
Okay.
The adventures are endless, and it all begins just seconds after loading the new Sea to Sky Gondola.
So we're just in the first phase of the lift, and it's very, very steep. It's 43 degrees out of the base, which is incredibly steep. In the first minute, you're already up about 300 and some odd meters.
Nothing in North America can compare. Gliding silently up the mountainside, your cabin sweeps above the tree line like a soaring eagle, allowing you to feel as though you are part of the natural experience.
The whole idea and concept was to bring people to a place, what we call access to the inaccessible, and take them to a place where it felt like they were transported directly into the middle of an unspoiled sort of natural experience.
This is stunning.
The 10-minute ride lands you here at 885 meters above sea level. This is where the mountains meet the sea and the sky. Perspectives once only seen by extremists are now accessible to all.
So we're on the main viewing deck, and this point here is kind of the portico, as we call it. It kind of pokes out over the front of the bluff, if you will.
Goat Ridge to our left, the Howe Sound Fjord below, and the coastal mountain range all around. It's a 280-degree view that is truly world-class, depicting exactly what British Columbia is all about.
It's going to be just a spectacular place to just sit and watch the sun go down and the stars come up, or have a glass of wine and something to eat while you're watching all of that.
Open until 10 p.m. on weekends, the 9,000-square-foot lodge will feed hungry hikers returning from a day in the mountains or console wanderers returning from one of the two nearby viewing platforms accessible by stroller-friendly trails.
I'm not the greatest with heights, Jason, but this looks okay.
I think it'd be okay. It's pretty high. It's 110 meters long and 65 meters high. You know, you get out in the middle and it wiggles a bit,
Okay.
which is good.
Connecting the main viewing deck at the lodge with the Spirit Deck viewing platform, the suspension bridge is an experience on its own, guiding explorers to a faraway land rich with history.
This is our Spirit viewing platform, as we call it, which is the start of the Spirit experience, which will be a 400-meter interpretive trail with local Squamish Nation history, mythology, traditional use of plants, medicine.
10,000 hectares of non-motorized possibilities await, whether you're a backcountry enthusiast of the truest kind or riding a gondola for the very first time. Here, you can simply choose your own adventure by nature.
You can take it on your own level. You can take it as far as you want or not. So, yeah, it's a very personal experience, hopefully a personal adventure for people, but it should be a lot of fun.
Now that is a spectacular experience, a great way to see the community and learn about the area's history. Now if you find yourself in the city this summer but you're still looking to soar to new heights, you might want to try Vancouver's new Ultimate Flying Ride. It covers thousands of kilometers in just 8 minutes without even leaving the city centre. Breathtaking, stunning, so many words to describe it.
I've probably seen it over 100 times, and every time I go on it, I feel like I'm a little kid swinging my legs away, especially when we're going over some of those cliffs and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, a few of those moments, and a little misty in there, a little drops.
The 4D flight covers 6,000 kilometers of Canadiana in an 8-minute adventure.
You're lifted up off the ground, and you move around in front of a huge, giant screen. You really feel like you're flying.
Flyover Canada takes you from coast to coast, flying east to west, showcasing spectacular visuals shot by the production team from Whistler's Sherpas Cinemas.
They're really world-renowned for their ski and snowboarding films. They travel all around the world. We were really lucky. They gave us a year window. We traveled all across the country with them.
Flyover Canada also worked with international engineers to create the state-of-the-art machine.
Yeah, there's 300 tons of steel that we put into the old IMAX theater here.
They also worked with former Disney Imagineers to help create the full experience.
I feel like Flyover Canada just makes sense here in Vancouver. Is that why you guys decided to create it?
Yeah, exactly. My business partner, Steve Geddes, and I had really recognized that Vancouver could use an urban attraction right in the downtown core.
As they expected, Flyover Canada is a big hit with tourists visiting Vancouver. The big surprise one year in, the love from the locals.
We have so many people coming here on date night or bringing their grandkids or coming as groups of friends. Even last week we had somebody inquiring what they want to propose here, so we're going to work that in as well. So yeah, we've been just overwhelmed with the local support. We're just really fortunate to be here at Canada Place for sure.
For Shaw TV's Big Summer in Vancouver, BC, I'm Johanna Ward.
The Flyover Canada team already has another show in production. Well, thank you so much for joining us on our special summer episode of Go Sea to Sky. If you'd like to see one of our other shows or perhaps one of these stories again, visit youtube.com/Whistler Shaw, where all of our episodes and stories are available for you in HD.
Coming up,
a lot of locals don't actually know the history of Whistler.
Exploring the unique history of Canada's beloved ski town.
The following are proud supporters of community programming on Shaw TV. Hairstyling and color services for Heather Butts are provided by The Loft Salon. TheLoftSalon.com.
1 in 3 Canadians know someone with Alzheimer's disease or another dementia. I'm one of those Canadians. September is World Alzheimer's Month, and the Alzheimer's Society of BC wants you to get involved. Use your creative ideas, your outstanding talents, and your sizzling passions. We make it easy to create a unique fundraising event or join in someone else's. Do anything for Alzheimer's and help support people with dementia, their caregivers, and research for a cure. Let's get started at anythingforalzheimers.ca today.
Welcome back to Go Sea to Sky, only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Heather Butts, enjoying a sunny summer day on Blackcomb Mountain. Exploring the unknown is what summer is all about. And on this episode of Go Sea to Sky, we're introducing you to some unique people and places, giving you ideas for your summer fun. Now in Whistler, the ideas are endless. But how much do you actually know about the village and how it came to be the Whistler that we know today? For those answers, you'll want to head to the Whistler Museum. There you'll find all sorts of interesting artifacts and fun information that will help you appreciate this beautiful place even more.
arts, culture, pioneer days, and wildlife. There's more to this village than just a ski resort. The town's historical roots run deep, and there's one place where you can uncover its treasured past.
Hey Heather.
Hi Trish.
Welcome to the Whistler Museum.
Thanks for having me. I hear you guys have a great new exhibit.
Yeah, it's the evolution of skiing and snowboarding. Let's go check it out.
Okay.
The most prominent activity in this resort town, it has recently received a new expanded exhibit.
So this is one of my favorite displays in the new exhibit.
Yeah, looking at the equipment, it really shows the evolution of skiing and snowboarding.
Your eyes are immediately drawn to the oldest skis in the display, those of pioneer Myrtle Phillips, who in 1913 carved the way for future tourists.
It's unbelievable to see just how old those skis are.
I know, and they are so heavy, let me tell you. Yeah, it's incredible to think about riding down the mountain in those.
The display also includes a monoski, one of the first snowboards, and a modern-day Pryor splitboard.
And you have another exciting piece to this exhibit?
Yes, it's Whistler's first gondola, and it's just over here.
Okay.
Come on in, let's have a seat.
This is awesome.
And so Whistler's gondola was actually the first gondola in BC, and it was in service from 1965 to 1992, and it ran the same as the Creekside gondola runs today.
Navigating through the museum, it's a skier's paradise to reflect on the memorabilia that goes way back, those of the everyday members and famous Canadian ski racers. But the history of Whistler spans much farther than its athletic pastime, and so does the museum.
So this is some of the furniture that you would have found in Rainbow Lodge, which was built by Myrtle and Alex Phillip.
The husband and wife pair was among the first to discover the potential of Whistler, building the area's first destination lodge. This is where it all started. Important pieces that have influenced Whistler as we know it today. History that should be shared amongst tourists and locals.
I would encourage a local to come here because a lot of locals don't actually know the history of Whistler, and once they find out, it's so fascinating, it's so interesting, and can really heighten their experience living here.
The self-guided museum allows wanderers to stroll through the historic passageways at your own pace, discover what Whistler is truly made of in the geology section, and explore the many animals that call this place home. That includes the hoary marmot, whose whistle this town is named after. The paraphernalia is endless, every item extraordinary and informative in its own way.
So we have our Olympic section, and the Olympics, of course, is a very significant part of Whistler's history, from our first bid for the 1968 Games to finally getting the 2010 Games.
One of the bigger sections at the museum, the Olympic area, showcases uniforms worn by our Canadian athletes and equipment used during the Games. As with many areas, it too is interactive, so grab hold of the torch and be part of history.
The Whistler Museum is a great place to spend a rainy day or a couple of hours out of the sun. Well, our next story takes us to the island for this week's episode of Big Summer. On the rolling hills of the Cassidy Highlands, just south of Nanaimo, there's a sight you don't normally see on the west coast, a herd of grazing buffalo. Have a look.
The Sioux called the buffalo Tatanka. That's what I call them, is Tatanka, and I call them to me that way. Tatanka! Tatanka!
A long, long time ago, the plains bison, an imposing creature that can top the scales at about a ton, once roamed the northern Great Plains in herds by the millions.
I can tell you that the numbers were almost decimated in the 1880s, and they attribute the comeback of the Plains bison to buffalo ranchers.
The bison isn't something you'd expect to see on Vancouver Island.
The main word that they use is, and that means that I'm here. And they say that so that other buffalo don't get spooked and run off.
Just south of Nanaimo, there is a small herd of about 60 Plains bison gently grazing the hills in the Cassidy Highlands.
Originally I had Red Angus cattle, and I was building a beautiful registered herd. And then that mad cow disease swept across Canada. And we had about 2 or 3 cases of mad cow, I think wherever that was, in Alberta, I believe. And that just killed the beef industry in Canada for about 10 years. So a lot of the ranches had to shut their doors and get into something else. And I was always kind of interested in the buffalo.
10 years ago, Buffalo Bob bought himself 24 6-month-old bison calves and started the Morning Star Bison Ranch.
So I thought, well, I'll get to know them as they get to know me.
The market is growing for this lean, flavorful meat, and so too is the interest in these symbols of strength and determination.
People love to come out and look at the animals. Like, where else do you see buffalo on southern Vancouver Island? And to go for a ride on our little choo-choo train in amongst the herd, I mean, it's just, it's priceless to watch them. They're watching the buffalo and I'm watching the tourists, because it's a lot of fun just seeing the expressions on their face.
A visit to the Morning Star Bison Ranch wouldn't be complete without a stop at the Yippee-Ki-Yay Cafe to sample a bison dog or burger or take home a few steaks. In the Cassidy Highlands, I'm Annette Lucas.
Now that is quite a sight, something to check out if you're on the island this summer. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Go Sea to Sky. We'd love to hear from you. Perhaps you have a unique summer sunny place you'd like us to explore or an event you'd like us to cover. We'd love to hear from you. Get in touch with us at facebook.com/Go Sea to Sky.
Later in the show,
there's trails ranging from greens all the way to double blacks. It appeals to really anyone. It's really cool.
Grab your gear. It's time to hit the Whistler Mountain Bike Park.
When he was only 16, Richard Pierpoint was enslaved in Senegal and taken to America.
All us men have sworn on this petition to fight.
You're an old man. The British Army has militias and trained soldiers.
I fought with the British during the American Revolution.
Take your land and farm it. Leave the Americans to us.
With respect, sir. I was born a free man, and I intend to die one. Your officers fight for land and money. I fight for my freedom.
Richard Pierpoint was one of thousands of black loyalists who won their freedom in the American Revolution. 30 years later, at the age of 68, he petitioned for an all-black unit that would defend Upper Canada during the War of 1812.
The Reebok Spartan Race, a series of obstacle courses that has taken place in more than 60 countries around the world. It's coming this summer to communities in BC and Alberta. For more information on the race and how you can participate, visit them online at SpartanRace.com.
Welcome back to Go Sea to Sky, only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Heather Butts, exploring the wonders of the Sea to Sky corridor. On this week's episode, we're helping you enjoy summer one activity at a time. Now, it's a pretty popular place in the corridor. The Whistler Mountain Bike Park draws thousands to its rugged trails and high-flying dirt jumps every year. It is a little extreme, but believe me, there is something for everyone. If you're looking at getting into this sport, you may want to check out men's or women's nights. It's the perfect fit for all riders. It was for me. Have a look.
It is by far the best place in the world to ride. If you want to get vertical down, there's no other place in the world that can beat it.
Considered the #1 lift access downhill bike park in the world, the Whistler Bike Park has the most terrain compared to any other facility in North America.
There's trails ranging from greens all the way to double blacks. It appeals to really anyone, it's really cool.
Intrigued by the experienced riders often seen racing to the bottom of the mountain, I wanted to see what this sport was all about. I donned the downhill gear, rented a sweet ride, and headed out into the unfamiliar, joining a group for my first bike park adventure.
Hey, is this the beginners group?
Oh yeah, how's it going?
Good, I'm Heather.
Seb,
Hi.
nice to meet you. Welcome to Women's Night.
Thanks.
Yes, girls only, with the exception of our instructor Seb. Women's Nights run every Monday and Wednesday. The drop-in sessions is geared for ladies of all abilities and a guaranteed good time.
A lot of women are intimidated by the bike park, and as a group, when you've got 4 or 5 women and they're collaborating together, it's really cool being able to see that kind of emotion, especially for the first-time bike riders.
Are you excited?
I'm so stoked. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Making our way up the mountain, Women's Night is the perfect combination of learning and socializing.
So your very, very first time?
I'm a newbie.
Oh, exciting!
As the excitement builds, so do the nerves. Arriving at mid-station, we steer clear of the trails for now. Our beginner group heads to the skills park, where we get to learn at our own pace.
Hey guys, feeling?
Excited!
Sweet! So, what we're going to do, we'll go over the basics. As I briefly explained down the bottom, we're going to do neutral position, braking, and cornering. Those are the kind of like the key skills to mountain biking, and then from there we can expand.
Seb gives us a demo on braking, complete with what not to do. Then it's our turn.
Awesome! Give it a go. Nice big anti-clockwise circle.
Encouraged by my fellow riders, the pressure-free environment makes learning easy and fun.
With the women, they're super supportive of each other, and it's really cool as they always want to help each other out, and they want to work together on things, as opposed to just race straight down the trail.
We take our time within the comfort of the small skills park. Learning proper technique, stance, and balance is critical.
Looking good.
Then cornering, a fundamental skill that will help get us down the green trails. But don't be fooled, with close to 5,000 feet of lift service descending bike trails, this park has more to offer than what we'll be riding.
We have heaps of double black technicals, so if you're into the super steep, the super technical, the rocks, the roots, that kind of thing, we got all of that kind of stuff. And again, we've got the double black jump trails. How'd you guys find that?
Awesome.
Sweet!
Our lesson in the skills park complete, it's time to leave the comfort zone and hit the trails to see what this mountain has to offer.
Awesome! So, this is it. This is easy does it. So this is where we're going to integrate everything that we've done in the skills park and push it onto the trails. You guys ready to ride? Yeah. Sweet! Let's go!
Heading down Easy Does It, my adrenaline was racing. A wide trail to start, it becomes more technical in spots with exhilarating banked corners. With confidence from our lesson and encouragement from my group, it was time to let her rip.
They're super supportive of each other. It's not just me cheering on someone as they're trying something new, it's the whole rest of the group, which is a really, really cool aspect to the Women's Nights.
A night out with the girls isn't complete without après. Women's Nights finish with a round of celebratory drinks and giveaways at the GLC, where you can review your lesson and share a few laughs.
Women's Nights happens every Monday and Wednesday, and Men's Nights are on Tuesdays. Well, if you're looking for something a little less rugged, the Whistler Art Walk could be suitable for you. The self-guided tour takes you through the village stroll and into more than 30 shops, restaurants, and businesses, exploring local artists who have work on display throughout creative pop-up exhibits. One of those artists is Heidi Dennison, but be careful, if you like her work, you may leave wearing it. Have a look.
Painting for me is definitely like a meditation. There's really nothing else that does that for me.
Entranced by her brush connecting with her unique wooden panel, Heidi Dennison is absorbed in her painting, turning one form of art into another.
It's based on my photography, but then there's definitely a painterly element to it, so I'm not just copying my photographs.
The laminated wood panel allows her to use a variety of paints and pastels to create her picturesque Whistler landscape. The high school art teacher has been creating since she was a child, but it was during her maternity leave a few years ago that Dennison's style and final products began to evolve.
Not everybody's in the market to buy an original piece of artwork, and so I thought, how can I bring the price point down and create this more of an everyday purchase for people?
Determined to make her work more accessible, she discovered a company that could transform her magnificent pieces into wearable art, such as delicate scarves, functional hats, and now funky leggings.
Some of my pieces have been more abstract, the finished product, but generally I like people to be able to see what it was, before it was printed on the fabric.
Dennison takes a photograph of her paintings, creating a digital tile. An eye for beauty and style, she then works diligently to manipulate a pattern that will repeat onto the fabric.
So I'm just sort of playing with composition, really, and also thinking of scale. So do I want the print to be super tiny? If it's being printed onto a band that's going to go onto a hat, it needs to be a very small design. Or if it's a print on a legging, it can be much bigger.
Once satisfied with the image, the printing is done in Montreal and the sewing in Vancouver, keeping as much of the assembly process close to home and 100% Canadian.
Several of the natural fabrics are woven in Montreal, so that's really important to me, that I either source Canadian woven fabrics, or if the fabric is from overseas, that it's a bamboo or organic cotton or hemp.
The leggings are the newest addition to the Heidi the Artist collection. Inspired by her casual Whistler lifestyle, she wanted something that was functional yet fashionable.
I find it so exciting if somebody sees a piece of mine and they actually connect to it and want to wear that. And I'm just happy that it doesn't have to just be on a wall.
From the first to the final stage, this designer is hands-on through every step of the apparel process. Answering online orders from around the world, she then packages and ships every item herself.
I want it to have that handmade feel to it, that touch, so somebody knows that they purchased something from me that I made, and designed in my studio.
While some pieces are hand-painted, others are created straight from her photographs, but all were designed with the inspiration to make women wearing them feel fabulous.
I want them to feel fresh. I want them to feel funky. I want them to feel like themselves, so they can, style my pieces in a way that works with their wardrobe. And yeah, I just want them to feel like they're wearing something unique and special.
Heidi Dennison's work is on display at the Whistler Eye Clinic right beside Shaw TV on Main Street in Marketplace. You can also find her at the Whistler Farmers Market. Well, that does it for this episode of Go Sea to Sky. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Retirement Concepts Weather Report on Shaw TV takes you from around the world to across the country to your own backyard. Retirement Concepts Weather Report on Shaw TV gives you the inside information on the outside world daily on Shaw TV.
Join, book, go with Modo, Vancouver's only local car sharing co-op. What's car sharing? It's thousands of people sharing the cost and access to hundreds of cars. Car sharing offers a reliable alternative to car ownership, fits your lifestyle, and saves you money. With 300 cars, trucks, and even cargo vans, Modo offers the lowest rates in Metro Vancouver. And booking a Modo is easy, online or by phone. Join, book, go. Learn more at modo.coop.
When he was only 16, Richard Pierpoint was enslaved in Senegal and taken to America.
All us men have sworn on this petition to fight.
You're an old man. The British Army has militias and trained soldiers.
I fought with the British during the American Revolution.
Take your land and farm it. Leave the Americans to us.
With respect, sir. I was born a free man, and I intend to die one. Your officers fight for land and money. I fight for my freedom.
Richard Pierpoint was one of thousands of black loyalists who won their freedom in the American Revolution. 30 years later, at the age of 68, he petitioned for an all-black unit that would defend Upper Canada during the War of 1812.